If you're an expert and you're still trying to grow by posting every day, that might be the exact reason you're not growing. Because most experts don't have a visibility problem, they have an asset problem. If you're watching this, you're likely a serious owner who wants to position themselves as the obvious expert and stand out from their competition without burning out. Today I'm going to break down why most experts stay invisible. I'm going to introduce the quiet authority method, and you'll discover how to fix your visibility problem. I'm Marcy Matejcek, and this is the Authority Lab. First up is the real problem and why most experts stay invisible. I'm going to break this down into 3 mistakes. Mistake number 1 is renting attention. If you're only building on social media, you're actually borrowing your audience. Because if something goes wrong, you can lose that entire audience and have to completely start over again. This has happened to people on Instagram, on Facebook, on other networks. If you don't own that audience, you're using that platform and you are, like I said, borrowing the audience. This is actually why I pay for Meta Premium, by the way, or whatever it's called with a little check mark, because I don't, God forbid, want to get hacked and lose the last 20 years that I have built up on Facebook. So right now, that's my only solution. Instagram, I have multiple accounts on Instagram, but I haven't been on it as long, so it's not as important, although I do have it on my main Marcy Matejcek Instagram account. Mistake number 2 is having no pillar asset. Now, what's a pillar asset? So these are assets that are searchable on different platforms across the internet. So you might have no searchable YouTube page or video, no authority video or authority page, no core asset. I have a main site with a blog. I have multiple landing pages that I can be found on. I have a YouTube account, obviously, because you're watching this here. I have a Google account with reviews, not too many, but I do have some. So that's social proof that I can use it as a leverage when I'm trying to get a client. I also have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and I do post on all of them, but not very often. I just try to keep a presence on there, but I focus on one core asset, my one pillar asset. Now, even though I'm not overly active on it, I still have a presence, and I have combined multiple layers of authority that I've built up over the years. So if you search me up on Google, I show up until page 4. So that's a combined authority over time. All right, mistake number 3 is confusing activity with authority. Posting is not the same as positioning yourself. You need to know, where is your ideal client avatar hanging out? Do they rely on social media? They might not even, your ideal client might never go on Instagram. So why the fuck are you posting on there? You're not getting to them. Do they go on Google to search things? Do they rely on word of mouth? You need to understand intimately what your ideal client is, who they are, their age, their demographics, what they enjoy consuming, what they enjoy doing outside of anything digital. You need to know all of those things. Where do they go to find experts? Because you are that expert that they could be finding. You need to be crystal clear on your positioning, who you serve, how you're different, and why they should come to you instead of Joe Blow down the street. I'm going to introduce my framework, the quiet authority method. So broken down, it looks like this. Searchable authority. So when you or your brand can be found by searchable keywords from your pillar assets, which is your YouTube channel. So broken down, it's authority. So this is searchable authority is when you or your brand can be found by searchable keywords. So if you are let's just say you're a coach for women in perimenopause, for example, that is what you're known for, right? So you need to be using those keywords: women over 40, perimenopause, hormones, whatever those keywords might be. And that's such an easy, quick lookup on Google. All you need to do is type in who you serve and see what comes up. It's actually as simple as that. You don't need to overcomplicate this step. You don't need to pay for anything. Leave it at that, because we're wanting to do easy here. All of these assets are part of what I call your authority ecosystem. Okay, so your authority ecosystem includes your pillar assets like your landing page, an authority video, your welcome sequence, and a funnel, which is connected to automations. These assets are greater than the algorithm. So this system focuses on assets that stay searchable so people can find you, as opposed to relying on an algorithm and daily posting. Do you see how that's different? So this is my system for preventing burnout while staying visible, and I teach it all inside the Authority Lab. I will pin the link in the comments. Let's talk the bigger picture. Why build an authority ecosystem? Because your results are going to compound over time. The more you're searched and stay searchable, the more relevant your asset actually becomes. It helps to reduce burnout. Obviously, we're not posting every single day. We're not worrying about, oh my God, what happens if I don't post today? That's constantly the cycle that I was living in. And I would be consistent for maybe 6 weeks, and then I would fall off the wagon and just not be consistent whatsoever for 6 months. And I'm currently in that phase right now because I'm really inconsistent because I just don't care. I don't need to be consistent with that. I need to be consistent with my pillar asset and my authority ecosystem, which I am, so I'm not worried. This system is also going to attract inbound leads. So you're going to attract them rather than chasing them and fighting for attention online. And it creates leverage because you are searchable. So the more, like I said, if you look me up, I go to page 4. It used to be page 2. And before that, probably I was only halfway down page 1. But these compound over time. And how much more authority are you going to choose the person who shows up with one thing because it looks like they're brand new online? Or are you going to choose the person who shows up over and over and over consistently and has high impact assets like blogs, articles, videos like this? You're going to choose that person most likely, right? Unless you know the other person. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about your cold audience here and how to attract a cold audience. So people that you don't know. Instead of shouting daily, you build assets that work while you're sleeping or just doing something fun. Now, if you want to build this properly, I've created a community where we build your authority ecosystem step by step. It's called the Authority Lab. I'll pin the link in the comments. It's free to join and I hang out there daily. I hope to see you inside and I hope that this was helpful. Talk again soon.